all of the policy action in school is in human capital. How do we get teachers to be better? How do we get teachers to know their subject matter better? How do we get teachers, let's get them certified, let's make them go to school, let's make them get master's degrees, let's make them get doctorate degrees. And somehow all of that has not worked very well. And our insight from some of the work we did in industry was really that maybe we're focused too much on human capital and not enough on social capital. That maybe it isn't just getting the smartest teacher or the one that has the advanced degree or is certified fully, but rather it's how teachers interact with one another. So we did some pilot work, and one of the things we found is that these teachers. In public schools, the management approach, and this is true in a lot of other industries as well, but a management approach as well will raise the expertise by parachuting in an expert. And the expert will be called the lead teacher or the coach or the expert in some way. And that person then is going to teach everybody else and help everybody else. And they'll be treated like a peer. And what we found, and we did these network studies of, well, if you have a problem in the classroom, who do you talk to? And what we found is people generally don't talk to these experts about any problems they have or anything they'd like to see corrected, nor do they talk to the principal, nor do they go to the library. What they do is they talk to one another. And talking to one another and learning from one another is really a form of social capital. It's you're transmitting that information around. So we did a big study with about 6,000 teachers, 200 schools in New York, because again, we're interested in scale, not just how do we get it in this small, confined, cherry-picked setting, but rather how do we get this so that everybody could benefit from it. And what we found is that social capital is at least as important as human capital in teachers, and in addition to that, that if you have both, if you have at least some teachers in second grade who know how to teach math, and you have strong links among the teachers, that is really going to show up in growth in student achievement, even for those students who never have that teacher. So because she teaches her colleagues, and her colleagues, it's an environment in which people trust each other. And when you think about sort of getting better at something you're supposed to already know, so if you're a second grade teacher, you teach everything. You teach English, you teach math, you teach history, whatever it is that's offered. And most elementary school teachers, for example, are not very confident about math. Most people with a lot of aptitude in math don't go into elementary education. And so here's a job, you're supposed to be the math teacher. You don't really know much about how to teach math, no one ever taught you. And in addition to that, all the in-service stuff is not very useful, it's always teaching technique. So how do you get any better at it? Well, to get any better at it, you have to be able to interact first with somebody who knows more than you do, but second, with somebody you trust enough that you can say, I really don't understand fractions, well enough to transmit that information to these kids. And so that's the human capital, that there has to be somebody who does know how to teach fractions and does it pretty well. But secondly, that there's enough trust among this group that you can say, show your weakness. And particularly in public schools that are under so much pressure and criticism, that's hard to pull off. So our research again was large scale and we believe quite generalizable, and really shows kind of the power of social capital.